Okay, Fahim from Sweden. His second question was, what was the very first bid'ah? A very interesting question. It would not really help us a lot, but guess what? The first bid'ah was practiced during the life of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was indeliberate though. Some of the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam thought that they can compete with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam with regards to doing good righteous deeds. So one of them vowed not to sleep at night, rather to pray on every single night. And the second vowed to fast on every single day. And the third vowed not to marry at all in order to devote his entire life for worship and so on. When we examine the three deeds and the three vows, they're great, they're marvelous. Who can have anything to say pertaining that? But the Prophet ﷺ objected to that, and not that he objected secretly. No, he gathered the whole ummah and he gave a speech, he gave a khutbah. And he introduced to this khutbah by saying that he is indeed the Prophet of Allah, and he knows best about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the closest to Allah, he is the most beloved to Allah, he fears Allah and keeps his duty to Allah more than anybody else. Yet he prays at nights and he sleeps, he fasts some days and he skips some other days, and he's married. Then he remarked saying, فَمَنْ رَغِبَ عَنْ سُنَّتِي فَلَيْسَ مِنِّي. So whoever turns away from my sunnah. He considered these additions as innovations, and similar to turning away from his tradition sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, فَمَنْ رَغِبَ عَنْ سُنَّتِي فَلَيْسَ مِنِّي. So this is an example. Then afterward, after the demise of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there were many innovations. Some innovations led their people astray. They left Islam entirely. We had Al-Khawarij, then Al-Murji'ah and Al-Jabriyah, these sects which deviated from the straight path because of innovations pertaining the understanding of the concept of Aqidah or pertaining the Amal. We have some people who said, we used to give zakah to the Prophet ﷺ. We don't have to give it to anyone else afterward. And Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu waged a war against them. He treated them as kuffar. It's a long subject, but I believe the incident of the three companions was very, very significant, because a lot of people who are obsessed with innovations, their justification, which is not a justification of course, they always say that my intention is good. I mean well. Isn't it an act of worship? If you say, if somebody constantly says, Sadaqallahu al-Azim, Sadaqallahu al-Azim after every recitation. Once I was being tested in the university, in the verbal exam. And if I don't say this, even though I don't believe it is the Sunnah, because the man whom the Quran was revealed unto him did not do it. The teacher or the professor, if he finds any excuse to fail me, he would have done it. But he would try to give me the least grade. Some people, even though they're educated, but they're obsessed with the bid'ah, with the innovations. They believe that هكذا وجدنا آباءنا يفعلون. We were born and raised like that. My father and my forefather, they used to do that. I attended with some scholars in fiqh and hadith. I was invited once, and those people started making dhikr. It began very smoothly and very nicely. Then subhanallah, all of a sudden, it ended up doing exactly what the Prophet ﷺ has forbidden. So when we consult, when we discuss this with them, they say they know better. You're not supposed to discuss it. How come? If the companions used to discuss with the Prophet ﷺ, and the Tabi'een used to discuss with the companions and ask them, do we know better than the Prophet ﷺ? Of course not.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا أطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول وأولي الأمر منكم